everybody, your host SonGoshuaku here!
Number 15, Shane McMahon and Snoop Dogg versus The Miz.
This match kinda turned into a big mess. For starters, while it was cool to see Shane McMahon, it would have been cooler to see Bobby Lashley use if you needed someone for a quick squash match. Second, things really fell apart when Shane McMahon tore his quad. Now a huge shout out does go to the DOWG Snoop Dogg for quickly recovering this match by being a total professional to be able to take direction from WWE production crew on the fly, improvising some punches to The Miz and attempting to do the people's elbow. Which, hey, I got to admit, the elbow got some decent height. I actually thought this looked more better than his splash in AEW that even on Twitter, his own cousin Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, stated they would have to work on that. This all of course leads to Snoop Dogg becoming undefeated at WrestleMania despite Shane McMahon being the one to start the match. Look, minus the injury to Shane, this moment was very entertaining. So if I was ranking this based on WrestleMania 39 moments, it would be high, no pun intended, on the list. But because this list is ranking the matches, there's unfortunately no other place but the very bottom.
Number 14, Pat McAfee versus The Miz.
Now I love everything that Pat McAfee brings to the table when it comes to WWE. However, once again, if the WWE needed a quick squash match, why not make use of the almighty Bobby Lashley? As I mentioned in my review, I kinda thought this was a little unnecessary, as I personally would have much rather seen Bobby wrestle and if time allowed, Pat McAfee to call a match on commentary.
Or better yet, how about Bobby Lashley teaming up with Pat McAfee to take on the team of The Miz and LA Knight? That would have been better, yeah,
because at the end of the day, this was basically a glorified squash match at The Miz's expense to showcase Pat McAfee's moveset. Therefore, while this was entertaining as a moment, plus had better in-ring execution than the bottom entry on this list, I couldn't put this any higher as a match when compared to our next 13 entries.
Number 13, the Women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Match.
The build up to this match was lacking, and the lack of a number one contender stipulation for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships didn't help matters either. However, as seen with this match's Night 1 counterpart, with great in-ring action, a lack of story build-up can be overcome, which unfortunately was not the case with this match. And all due respect to these ladies, this match just wasn't clicking for me. The only one that really stood out to me was Raquel Rodriguez, particularly when she powerbombed her tag partner Liv Morgan onto their opponents. Also, I did get some amusement seeing Ronda Rousey win the match via doing only what I believe was one move. It kinda reminded me of that time when Brock Lesnar ran down to the ring to climb up the ladder and grab the briefcase, winning the Money in the Bank while everyone else was already worn out from the match. But it's understandable as they had to work around Ronda Rousey's injury. Now, by no means am I saying this was a bad match, it just didn't stand out among the next 12 entries on this list.
Number 12, John Cena versus Austin Theory.
I'll be the first to admit that John Cena is not one of my favorites, but I'll give him credit that he's had some of the all-time greatest matches in WWE history, and for me, among those matches will not be this one. While this was one of the few matches that Cena has had in recent memory to conjure up the old polarizing audience chants of "Let's go Cena! Cena sucks!" This match to me was a solid TV level match, but not a WrestleMania level match. And even though Austin Theory was the right one to go over, as John Cena is already an established legend, I just wish Theory was booked to win clean, since I felt that his booking over the past year when it comes to wrestling main event stars hasn't done much to legitimize him as a threat to the main event scene.
Number 11, Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Well, this was certainly a spectacle. I went in with expectations of this being a short match, and all expectations were definitely met. From Omos throwing Brock Lesnar around, Lesnar making a comeback with a few German suplexes, and then the F5 finish from Lesnar. This match was short, sweet, and straight to the point. It made Omos look like a dominant giant and showcased why Brock Lesnar is one of WWE's best sellers and freakishly strong athletes.
Number 10, Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control.
When you have a match consisting of two all-time great legends like Lita and Trish Stratus, two of the great current superstars such as Becky Lynch and Bayley, plus two upcoming great stars like Dakota Kai and Io Sky, you know only but a fun match awaits. Damage Control and Becky Lynch's performances in the match was on par with what you would expect out of these four current day great talents. And much respect goes to Lita and Trish Stratus. Despite both these women being 47 years of age, I thought they did very well to keep up with the younger talent. Plus, that manhandle slam from Becky to Bayley off the top rope to finish the match was pretty cool. From the nostalgia of Trish Stratus still rocking her WrestleMania 21 look into WrestleMania 39 and still being able to go, seeing Lita, who along with Molly Holly are my two all-time favorite women's wrestlers, still being able to wrestle, then seeing Bayley finally get a WrestleMania match for the first time in 3 years to wrestle against fellow four-horsewoman Becky alongside Dakota and Io on the grandest stage of them all, made this match a great blend of past and present worthy of the top 10.
Number 9, the Men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Match.
Like its Night 2 counterpart, a lack of strong story buildup and no stipulation of the number one contendership for the men's unified tag team titles hurt the hype of this match. However, unlike its Night 2 counterpart, the action in this match greatly delivered. Like I said in my review, these 8 guys were given little to work with story-wise and still performed like it was the match of their lives, seizing the opportunity for their WrestleMania moments. Everybody shined in the match, and the Street Profits winning was a pleasant surprise. Unfortunately, the win didn't do much for them on the next night on Raw with that booking. However, that doesn't take away from this match being in the top 10.
Number 8, the Brood Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor.
When you look at the previous 3 Hell in a Cell matches that have taken place at WrestleMania, even the beloved End of an Era match, which hardly used the cell but told an emotionally compelling story, I feel 100% confident in saying from a cell utilization standpoint, this is the best Hell in a Cell match in WrestleMania history. Given the long-term story build of hatred to this match, the fact that we were getting the OG silver color of Hell in a Cell to settle the score instead of the match happening because, oh, we have a PLE with the same name, made this match mean so much more. And the way these guys went at it in the cell made me feel the hatred between their two characters. Even the spot where Edge chucks the ladder to Finn Balor's head, splitting it open with blood pouring out, had me going like, okay, we going old school Hell in a Cell from when I was a kid/teen. Of course, because the bleeding was hard way, doctors had to come in and stitch/staple Finn Balor up, as they didn't know if he had a concussion or not. Now, I understand that this pause took a lot of people out of the match, especially if you grew up watching the Hell in a Cell matches from my generation. But it didn't take away the enjoyment of the match for me, as I understand we have a lot more medical knowledge than we did 25 years ago, so protecting talent is definitely priority number 1. Still, the cell match made use of the structure, especially that awesome spot where Finn Balor climbed halfway up the cell, jumped off into the ring for the coup de grace, only to crash right through the table because Edge got out of the way. Speaking of Edge, even though I felt he shouldn't have gone over in this match, having already got his big victory with his wife Beth Phoenix at the previous PLE over the Judgment Day, I just felt Finn Balor needed the win more, as Edge edges closer to the end of his career. But if Balor as the Demon is gonna lose, at least he was booked to lose with much more dignity here than at Extreme Rules 2021.
Number 7, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
As I've mentioned in prior vids, I don't follow Logan Paul, but I've heard from many friends that a lot of people don't like him. However, as a longtime WWE fan, seeing what he can do when it comes to performing inside the squared circle, I gotta give the man his dues. Because when you put his in-ring talent up against one of the WWE's best in-ring talents in Seth Rollins, it's a recipe for in-ring epicness. And epic it was, as both men showcased tremendous back and forth performances in the ring. The match even had comedy spots as well, such as KSI, who I don't follow either, but like Logan, I've heard that a lot of people don't like him, in disguise as Logan Paul's mascot for his energy drink, which culminates in a spot where Seth Rollins pulls KSI into harm's way on the announce table. Then Logan Paul, who drinks his energy drink, then jumps off the ring post for a frog splash, not paying attention, realizing only once in mid-air he's crashing down to KSI with no way to prevent it. This was truly great athletic comedy. The cherry on top of all of this is that Seth Rollins gets a major win at WrestleMania by defeating Logan Paul. This match delivered, hats off to both guys.
Number 6, Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio.
Yet another match on this card that benefited from long-term storytelling, with the entrances further enhancing that story. Now, the in-ring action between Dominik Mysterio and his now Hall of Fame father Rey Mysterio was top-notch. However, it's the story-driven moments that makes this match so memorable. Whether it was Dominik throwing water into his sister's face as Rey tries to hold her back from wanting to rip her brother apart, Dominik getting in his mother's face telling her to shut up once again, only this time for Angie, aka Mama Mysterio, to take no crap from her son, slapping the taste right out of his mouth. Which technically should have been a disqualification, but given everything he had been putting his family through, I understand why the referee was about that letting it slide life. And surely Rey taking out his belt and whooping his son's backside in front of over 80,000+ people in attendance, with millions of people watching around the world at home, will have to go down as one of the funniest moments in WrestleMania history. Add in memorable run-ins from the new LWO, the Judgment Day, and Bad Bunny to prevent Dominik from using the chain on his father, to what was quite a surprising finish for me, as I thought Rey Mysterio was gonna put over his own son at WrestleMania. However, the happy ending of Aaliyah and Angie getting in the ring to celebrate their respective father/husband's victory, added with tremendous commentary for the entire match by Michael Cole, made for a truly touching WrestleMania moment and a match worthy of the 6th spot on this list.
Number 5, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
The main event of night 1. No other match at WrestleMania 39 had the benefits of this level of 1-year story build-up, as Sami and KO's involvement in the Bloodline story had to be among some of the best storytelling WWE has ever produced. So expectations for this match was very high. And man, did these 4 men deliver a very emotional ride of a match. While the Usos dominated with an excessive amount of super kicks, all the hopeless spots just made the audience cheer even louder for their boys Kevin Owens and Sami. And when we get to the end, Sami Zayn's hesitation to put down the man he once considered his brother and Jey Uso was great storytelling that also had me passionately yelling, "Finish him!" which he finally does after Kevin Owens puts Jimmy Uso down with a stunner and Sami finishes off Jey Uso with the haluva kick for the 1, 2, 3. Man, the pop from the crowd had the emotions running high. This main event just meant so much on so many different levels. Just as the Bloodline story that this match was built off of had so many different different layers to it. It's astonishing when you look at the layers created from the result of this match, such as the fact that the tag team championships have been elevated to such a place the titles were being defended in the main event of WrestleMania. The fact that Jimmy and Jay as a tag team cemented their legacy as one of the top 5 WWE tag teams, if not top 5 tag teams in professional wrestling of all time. The fact that Kevin Owens would have never been thought of to main event WrestleMania in back-to-back years. Once again, Stone Cold freaking Steve Austin, and the second alongside his real-life best friend, Sami Zayn, who also would have never been thought of to ever get a main event on the grandest stage, both having gone from PWG to the main event of WrestleMania. This main event will forever go down as one of, if not the, defining moment of these 4 men's careers.
Number 4, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
To me, it is one of, but to many, it's the greatest women's match in WrestleMania history. But regardless of where you rank it, there is no denying that Rhea and Charlotte both displayed nothing but greatness in this match. The match started as a slow build-up into a fast-paced back-and-forth action-packed match where each of their big signature and finishing moves seemed like it could not put either one away. Also, there were some scary spots in the match, like Charlotte nearly landing on her head, but definitely landing on her face. Yet Charlotte, like the pro she is, still kept performing. And the finish of this match was the personification of what it means to make a superstar. With Charlotte and Rhea both jockeying for position on the top turnbuckle, then Rhea grabbing Charlotte's head and smashing her face first into the top turnbuckle, to then tell an unconscious Charlotte, "This is my time," followed by hitting the riptide from the top rope and scoring the 1, 2, 3. Like my guest Rob Ferry said during our review, Rhea walked in a star and walked out a superstar. As a Rhea Ripley fan, it was so awesome to see her earn this moment. Hats off to both ladies, as I felt this was the number 1 match of night 1, and just when I was wondering if there would be a match that could top it on night 2, we get
Number 3, Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
When your match lacks quality story build-up, you have to follow the incredible Women's Championship match from the previous night and immediately have to follow right after an incredible triple threat match. Performing a match worthy of the word incredible might seem impossible, but when you have the talents of Asuka and Bianca, a performance less than incredible is impossible. From the very beginning of the bell, these women came right out the gate swinging for the fences, clearly not wanting to be outdone by the tough acts they had to follow. The match was filled with tremendous back and forth action, with tremendous counter after counters after incredible counters, which really helped play into the finish as Asuka shoots her miss out only for Bianca to duck and then go for the KOD, only for Asuka to counter into an armbar, which Bianca then powers out of with Asuka on her shoulders, thus finally hitting the KOD for the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is bittersweet, because Asuka still has yet to win a WrestleMania match, but Bianca has gone on to tie Sable for the most undefeated female wins in WrestleMania history. Plus, with the absolute bangers she's put on in the back-to-back years with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and now Asuka, I confidently believe that Bianca is worthy of the title Miss WrestleMania. Now, when it comes to the 2 women's world title matches at WrestleMania 39, even though I like the Raw women's title match a little bit more because of the faster pace from start to finish, it's completely subjective as to which one as a fan you personally like more. However, there's one thing that I'm sure that majority of us can agree on, and that's that these 4 ladies put on a show worthy of the grandest stage of them all.
Number 2, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
hard-hitting action is what these three athletic heavyweights delivered in this match. The sounds of devastating chops over and over and over had me cringing for my own chest. But these weren't just three heavyweight guys that could hit really hard. They also showed their fantastic athleticism. It will never not be astonishing to me to see heavyweights that can move like lightweights. Also, the ending itself was quite a pleasant surprise as Drew and Sheamus went at it for several minutes while Gunther was taken out of the equation towards the end of the match. You see, I thought Drew was in this match to take the pin, so that way Sheamus can win the one title that has eluded him while at the same time making Gunther look strong because he never got pinned in the match. But instead, it was Gunther getting in the ring to powerbomb Sheamus on top of the back of what looked like Drew's neck, then delivering a second powerbomb to Drew to score the 1-2-3. I guess Pedro Morales' record is not the only thing WWE might be looking to break. While it would have been nice to see Sheamus get his big moment, this match in Gunther's current title reign only further adds to the recovering prestige of the Intercontinental Championship, especially if WWE is looking to break Honky Tonk Man's record via Gunther. This match may have not had the drama, the high spots, or even the story build that some of the other matches at this event did. In fact, it was rather simple, just three heavyweights producing hard-hitting action. So sometimes less is more, and this match was more than enough for me to consider it the second best match of the entire WrestleMania 39 weekend.
Number 1, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Built up with tremendous promos within the multi-layered bloodline story, no other match on the entire WrestleMania 39 card had me more invested than this one. The storytelling, the drama, the hot energy from 80,000 plus people in attendance, and the great back and forth action. This match had it all. Even the shenanigans were really well done and had me invested, as it truly added to the story of Roman getting a taste of his own medicine. And the false finishes were insane. So many moments towards the closing parts of this match had me standing out of my seat, waiting in desperation to see what route WWE was gonna go. Would they actually finish the story with Cody, or keep the titles on Roman to get to that 1,000-day milestone? And then the finish happened. While I wish it would have been clean because of the way the interference was booked in this match, such as the type that's usually done when the babyface has to overcome all the odds, I would have much rather seen Roman just get a clean victory over Cody like he did against John Cena and Goldberg. But on the flip side, I can't be too hard on the interference because it all was designed to make Cody Rhodes look strong in defeat, which is what the booking definitely did do in this match. At the end of the day, I am a big fan of Roman Reigns' current title reign, and I'm glad to see him most likely go on to cement his legacy via the next title milestones. You see, I could have gone either way as a fan. WWE could have given Cody his big moment, and I felt it would have been emotionally tremendous. However, I can also understand WWE's perspective from a business standpoint. Having a main champion 1,000 days, plus even becoming the 5th longest main champion in history, nearly a month after that milestone is reached, it's an opportunity that hasn't come around in nearly 40 years. I can't blame WWE for wanting to do this while they have the chance in this day and age. There's a lot of money WWE can make marketing that 1,000/5th longest for Roman, as well as still make money from Cody by having him win in the near future. Sure, it's more predictable this way, but by doing it this way, WWE now gets 2 major financial gains instead of just one on top of their multiple streams of income. Ultimately, time will tell if this was all for the purpose of making Roman's title reign way longer than it needed to be, or if it was to get Cody eventually to the promised land after Roman reaches those milestones. However, it does not take away from the tremendous main event that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns put on to close close out WrestleMania 39, making it to me not just the number one match of night 2 of WrestleMania, but also the number one match of the entire WrestleMania 39 weekend. Now for a more in-depth analysis of the event, check out me and my guest Rob Fury's review of WrestleMania 39. Also, please comment below to let me know what your rankings of these matches are, as well as like, share, and subscribe, followed by hitting the notification bell so that you are notified when I release new content. Thanks for watching.